word music. Geek speaker preacher. 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 Geek speaker preacher.
Yeah.
It's a word music. Geek speaker preacher. Geek speaker preacher. Geek speaker preacher. Geek speaker preacher.
Yes. How are you guys? It's good to be back.
Geek speaker preacher.
Very good to be back. All right, we're good here. We're good there. Cool. I see you out there, Michael Flemings. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We got 3 of y'all on the live. I like it. I love it. Want some more of it. Listen, we're opening up the floor. We're opening up the live today for your questions. We want to hear from you guys. What are some of the things you want to learn or understand better from platforms like Ecamm, StreamYard, Restream? What else did I put in the title? I can't even remember now. There was a number, but any of the streaming platforms, maybe even YouTube. Talk to me in the comment section. This is a Q&A. I want to make sure we say that right up front. I'm probably going to say that a couple of more times throughout our live today. I'm excited to be back in the saddle, back in the space, hanging out with you guys today. Always good to be able to do that. Let's go to the switcher. What's going on up there? I see. Let's cut there. Okay. Sometimes the cameras are set right, and sometimes they're not. See how that does. Ah, better. No, not quite. Not sure what mode that is. Yeah. Let's just go back to that one for now. All right, cool. Let's try that one more time. That's definitely better. That's definitely what it's supposed to look like. Sorry about that, y'all. Just making sure all my cameras are right. We got the top down shot, and then we have the other shot, and that it looks like it's out of focus. No, it focused up. It focused up. There we go. So we have the full gambit of cameras. So got a camera on my right. That's my right, so I can turn and you can see my other desk over here. Then we have a camera on my extreme left, which is, let's cut to that camera. So that's going to show you everything that's over this side. That's the, what's it called? The Amazon, setup over there, right? All of my stuff that I've received by being an influencer on Amazon. Then we have the main camera. Right, so that's the main camera. So it's one. There's one here, right? There's the one that I use pretty much for everything. This is the A6400. This is the camera that's got the teleprompter on it, and then we have the ZVE10, which is directly in front of me. Sometimes I feel like I gotta lean back to get into the. It feels like that focus is soft. Anyway, ZVE10, which is directly in front of me, and it also has 16mm lens on it, and that completes the set. Oh yeah, we got the top down shot as well. So we got the top down shot. So always got angles to be able to capture whatever is needed for a particular live show. Hopefully. You've been able to see some of that stuff. I know you guys have been checking out some of the content. We just finished up a series on the channel, how to become an expert with content, how to establish yourself as an expert with content. And that series has been really good. I've been getting, even though I don't get as many comments on the videos, I get a lot of emails. A lot of people reaching out saying, man, that series, man, it really spoke to what I've been struggling with. I'm going to go back through it. So we've made it into a playlist. It's available for you on the channel. Hoping that you guys are able to engage with that. Excited for the 9 of you that are hanging out with us on the live today. We've got we're live on YouTube and on Facebook, on the How It All Works page on Facebook, and then of course on YouTube.com/KirkRNugent. We're live here. So let me see here. Jess Corinthians God Gels says, "Booyah! What's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here today." House of Rayma Consulting says, "Good to see you, Kirk. Chicago checking in. Man, Windy City in the space. Love it. Always good to have some of our folks from the Midwest to come through and hang out." We're actually getting prepped and ready here in Huntsville for a storm. In fact, just got a notification from my kids' school that they're going to be letting out early today because of a pending storm. Now, I went outside as soon as I got that message. It looks gorgeous out there, but these things can shift and change. That's just like that. I mean, if you lived in the Plain States, if you lived in Alabama, especially North Alabama, you already know we do have the tendency to have some severe weather. So just kind of put some things down so that things don't necessarily blow away, and then we also just going to make sure we get those kids home, get them in safe, and I'll be off the live long before the real storm hits. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you so much for the prayers. Crazy, yeah. The weather can be crazy. All right, so let me get this other comment. It says, "Got to say thanks for your labor in all the content you put out. I have learned so much from you and helped my business scale. Thank God for you and your platform." Wow, man. That is phenomenal. I gotta get that comment on screen. Let me see if I can make the comment look right. I don't know how comments just be changing around. G. Albert, wowed by the fire in Hawaii. Wow. G. Albert is with us. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get a quick screenshot of this comment because House of Rayma, I just want to say a word of thanks to you for that. Got that. Appreciate that comment, man. Appreciate you guys coming through always. And you know, listen, the truth of the matter is, these are things that I needed to know. These are things that I absolutely have benefited from. And so I wanted to make sure that we were able to give people a taste or a dose of the medicine that we know we needed. So I don't share from the perspective of having figured it all out. I mainly share from the perspective of, I, like you, have struggled in some of these areas, and I've found something that seems to work well. I've put it through its paces and tested it, and it seems to be going well. And so now I put it in a form that everybody can have access to it. Kind of like what we talk about in the series as well. Gary Jones is on the live with the Blue Wrench. Love it. Says, greetings, HIW family. Always good to have you here, brother. Michael Fleming says, I'm praying for the children. I'm praying that the children are safe. Yeah. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, they're going to be home here in just a second, so we're excited for that. Gary, man, we set up some more cameras in the studio, brother. We're enjoying the camera setup, the camera scene, and it has been good. I'm just making sure I'm not missing a message or anything like that. I'm still getting used to these glasses, y'all. I keep on forgetting to mention this, but yeah, where's my phone? Let's make sure that that's on vibrate. Yeah, I was able to I went for a optometrist visit, right? I'm hoping you guys are going to ask your questions. Howdy from Australia, early AM here. Oh man, Recipes Live. Listen, you guys are way ahead of us. But if you have, listen, I'm just going to throw this back out there again. If you have questions, StreamYard, Ecamm, Restream, YouTube, whatever questions you might have, questions on the current series that we just finished, questions on the series that we're actually working on now, questions about Incubator's Couch. If you have any questions, the purpose of this live stream is so that you can ask your question. In fact, I'm going to just throw this on the screen real quick here. Bang. Ask me anything. Ask me anything. Live video Q&A session. I want to make sure you guys are aware of that so that you can ask your questions. I know I get a lot of questions. I try to respond to them as many as I can in your comments on YouTube, but there are many times where you just need a little something extra. So this is that direct time that we can be able to kind of engage with one another and do that. So even before I get into my little story about my eyes, I wanted to make sure you guys know that I'm just filling time until the questions come. Your questions are my agenda. Quite literally, your questions are the reason why I'm live today. If you have a question, it's like, man, I'm trying to figure out how to, give me an idea for a custom layout in StreamYard that can set me up to do such and such, right? Let me know what that such and such is. We can help you to put together something. Hey, I'm making the shift over to Ecamm, or I'm an Ecamm official, right? Help me to understand some of the things that are in this beta release that I can take advantage of. If you see my logo right here with the gradient going around it, that's because I'm using the beta. Everything on the screen right now is made with Ecamm. We're not using any graphics from Canva or anything else. And that is one of the major things about the current beta and hopefully the next release, not hopefully, potentially, eventually, I should say, the next release of Ecamm. We're going to get a lot of features that will allow us to brand our live shows directly in Ecamm, not having to use another, that actually sounds like a video, right? Ecamm has opened up the hood and stuffed Canva inside. How does that sound for a video? I definitely, let me type that out. That's actually not a bad one. Definitely want to make sure that we're able to highlight some of those pieces, some of those things as we go forward. So yeah, your questions are definitely what I want to make sure we highlight and prioritize. So I see a couple of them coming in. I'm actually putting a star beside them now. But let me just finish this quick story. So I went to the optometrist, just trying to, do the routine, eye check, and went ahead, did the thing, got in the chair. I've gotten my eyes checked multiple times before, so I already knew that one eye was weaker than the other. But y'all, let me tell you, it's like the weak eye got very weak. So when he covered one eye and he asked me to read, I was like, Doc, I cannot see any of that. I don't know what's on the screen right now. And so he made it bigger and made it bigger. And he was like, man, that eye is no good. So I ended up getting a new prescription. And so took some time, of course, to order some new glasses and get the prescription in those glasses. And I am telling you, especially for small things that are right up close, I did not realize how much I was just kind of making out what those things were as opposed to reading them. There's a whole sermon in there somewhere, but I'm not going to touch it. What I will say, however, is in terms of, related to the work that I do, the thing that really blew my mind was looking at a camera that I was setting up at a client shoot and realizing that I can see far more clearly to set my camera and my colors with the glasses now with this new prescription than I could before. And I just kind of said to myself, wow, I've been using it like this for a very long time, and I may have actually incorrectly set some things. And I don't know if you saw when I was going through the cameras, I was like, that focus looks soft. I kind of took the glasses off and put them back on because I was trying to make sure that I am actually seeing the way that it's supposed to be. So definitely want to just kind of share that with you guys. Look, the struggle of the content creator, the struggle of the producer, the struggle of the video creator is real, and real life situations and scenarios can come into play when you're looking at stuff. All right, so let me see what we got here. How does the camera work on your computer? Can I have two cameras? All right, I'm going to put that in. Micah Flemings has a question there. Not familiar with Ecamm. I heard it's a high-end OBS. Can you summarize what Ecamm is and best used for? All right, we got questions coming in. Question for large mid-sized churches, what cameras do you prefer? PTZ, stationary, or manned cameras? All right, I've got some questions now. Now we've got some questions. So let's get your questions. Let's get your questions answered. I'm gonna throw this first question on screen. So this one says, all right, let me shift to my let's shift to the switcher. Let's switch to this camera. That way I can look directly at you here, and I'm gonna get my comments back over here, and we're gonna do it like this. All right, so here we go. I've just got an Ecamm. I've just got an Ecamm Mini Pro ISO and need to set it up. Any tips? Okay, so Recipes Live, you're number one. So to set up the Ecamm Mini Pro ISO, first of all, I don't know if you can see it. Let's cut. You can't see it. What I hit cut on was the Ecamm Mini Pro ISO. Let's see. There we go. So that's the Ecamm Mini Pro ISO right here. So in terms of tips, right, and one of the things that we can do on the Ecamm Mini Pro ISO is, of course, turn on picture-in-picture. So now you're seeing me in the top right, and on my camera number one. So camera number one, you always want to make sure is your main camera, like as in the camera that you will always kind of go back to. Anytime you have a switcher, there's going to be a camera that's kind of like your main one. And so camera number one, I would set that up as your main camera. I like to set up my cameras in order, right? So normally that would be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, right? Let me go to the BTS shot so you can so now you're seeing the whole setup here, right? I'm moving out of the way. But I've got a camera over here. That normally would be number 1. This would be number 2. This would be number 3, number 4, and then number 5. But because I know the Ecamm does picture-in-picture on camera number 1, and I want this straight-on camera to be that camera, then I will set that as number 1. Hope that makes sense. So Recipes Live, hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for the question. That would be one of my tips. Make sure that you set camera number 1 to your primary camera, and then make sure that you have a couple of things. Make sure you install the software. A lot of people want to use the Ecamm kind of as a capture card, so they just kind of plug and play, and it will work. but I want to listen, fam, use the software. Use the software. Second, so that was to be the second one. Install the software. That'd be a tip for you. Third one would be, because you have the A10 Mini Pro ISO, I would make sure you have two things. Make sure you have a USB-C drive. I don't see my drive that I have that goes along with mine. But make sure you have a USB drive, preferably 1 terabyte, no less. And then also make sure you have a monitor. I use a what's it called? Come on. I use, let's cut back. I use a external or portable monitor is what I should say. External portable monitor. That's what I use for my screen for the A10 Mini. You have full multi-view capability on your A10 Mini. In fact, on the A10 Mini Pro ISO, you can actually decide right here. Let's cut back. Let's cut back. There's a set of buttons right here called Video Out. You can decide right here. Let's get our picture-in-picture back on. You can decide right here what you want your video out to be. So you can plug in a monitor to your A10 Mini Pro ISO, have that set up. And I took it downstairs, so you're not going to see that in my setup right now, but you can have that set up and you can actually see each camera individual. The multi-view on the A10 Mini Pro so A10 Mini Pro and above all have multi-view as an option. And so on the actual A10 itself, you can see here multi-view. There's a number of things, as I mentioned before, that you can control with the software. So I always recommend getting the software. So those would be a couple of things that I would recommend. Making sure you have high quality HDMI cables going to your cameras, making sure you have the adapter that is appropriate for your DSLR cameras that don't have the full HDMI port on them. So whatever appropriate adapter you have to be able to go from the mini HDMI that's on your camera to the full HDMI, and then from that full HDMI into your A10 Mini. That cable, you would need to have those. Hopefully that is helpful. So let me just go back to my comments here right now. Great, I'm building that into a kitchen studio. Come on, I love it. I love it. Tony T. Blum is here, has a question as well. I'm definitely going to get to that question. So, but Recipes Live, those are a couple of things that I would recommend right off the top for, man, I don't know why that looks that way. It just seems odd. Anyway, it just how does that look to you guys? Does it look soft? Does it the focus look soft on that? I don't know why, but anyway. So Recipes Live, let me know in the comment section if we got you across the line. Fantastic. I was going to use a tablet for the monitor and software. I don't know that you can install the software on a tablet. You have to install it on a computer, either PC or Mac, but I believe you do have to install it on a computer. You can plug it up to the PC and Mac USB-C, and it will see it as a webcam. That's how I'm using it now. But you can also, have a monitor connected to it so that you can actually have the multi-view. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's go back to our favorites. We got a couple more we're going to get through here. House of Rama says, comparison. Okay. In comparison to StreamYard and EVMUX, maybe I missed the first part of this question. House of Ramya Consulting. Let's go back here. Your setup is dope. Thank you so much. All right. I don't see the first part of that question. Maybe that is it. Okay, so you want to do a full comparison between StreamYard and EVMUX. Can we come back to that one? I want to come back to that one because I do want to. There's a fuller answer there. Actually, let me just take a stab at it right now. So let's put that question on the screen. StreamYard is pros and cons on both. StreamYard, I think, is everything that you can do in StreamYard, with the exception of like one or two very new features that they currently rolled out, you can do in EVMUX. From a production perspective, in terms of overlays and different layouts that you have that you can choose from your system, you basically have all those things in EVMUX. EVMUX also has what they have called Pro Scenes. And Pro Scenes is essentially where it's a blank canvas. You can put anything, anywhere on that scene. And when you select it, everything just comes right up the way that you want it to. So that would be one of the things that is a major difference. I like to categorize all the streaming platforms from tier 1 to tier 4. Tier 1 being your mobile phone, right? Nothing in between you and your guests. It's just literally a phone, right? Camera and mic, using it right off of the phone. You're streaming to YouTube, streaming to Facebook. You can do that straight from the phone. That's tier 1. Tier 2, web-based. And so essentially you have a browser, a web browser in between you and your guests. And sometimes the web browser, the web-based streaming can be direct. Like you can actually stream from facebook.com, the website. You can actually stream from there. You can actually go live from other, I think, web-based streaming platforms. EVMUX, StreamYard, Restream Live Studio, Be Live, I believe. There was Melon app, which has been, I think, rebranded as something else now. And then there was Lightstream, which has also been rebranded as something else now. And there's several others that have been on the horizon. I cover a lot of them on this channel. So tier 2 is a major focus for us on this channel because a lot of people, tier 2 is very easy. In fact, tier 2 is actually easier than tier 1. StreamYard sits squarely in tier 2. In fact, they were kind of sort of the first to the punch in that tier 2 platform. And it was kind of crazy to think we could have this broadcast ability in a browser. So that's tier 2. Tier 3 is installed, locally installed. So you have things like Wirecast, you have things like OBS, you have things like Ecamm. You install it on your computer and you use it to stream. The encoder, everything is in that software, but the software is reliant upon your computer, its processing power, and of course your internet to be able to stream. Tier 2, however, does not rely on your computer's processing power. It relies on a little bit of resources that your browser will use, so don't get it twisted. You do need to have a well-spec machine, even to stream with StreamYard, but that's just because it's connecting to your camera, connecting to your microphone, and it is utilizing a lot of horsepower from the browser. So it's doing that, but everything is sent to a cloud location, and from the cloud location goes to everything else. So keep that in mind. Tier 4, however, is, physical encoders, physical switchers, physical everything. And a lot of your houses of faith and large production houses, they have basically physical for everything. And so the A10 Mini was a step in the direction by Blackmagic to get into that prosumer market where people can have on their desk something that will allow them to do some of the switching that takes the load off of either your tier 3 streaming application, which does have switching, or your tier 2 streaming application, which doesn't have switching. So you have that kind of thing there as well. So those would be some of the things. And I always try to say to folks that StreamYard sits squarely in the tier 2 category. Whereas even though EVMUX is web-based, it kind of straddles the fence because of some of the features and functions that it gives you. It straddles the fence between tier 2 and tier 3. I'm not saying better or worse. I want to be clear on this. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm simply saying these are the functionality that go with those designations: tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 1. Okay. Hopefully that answers the question. Thank you so much for that. I always love getting that question. So let's see what else we got here. I just want to check my comments. Recipes Live says, I will let you know. Cheers from Australia. Cheers to you as well. Hope you're not wearing 2 or more glasses. One pair to see. This is actually 2 glasses in one, G Albert. It's actually 2 glasses in one because I'm actually able to, they're bifocals. On the top is for my, is where I look when I'm looking at something that's far. On the bottom is where I look when I'm trying to look at something that's close. So that bottom one has the prescription for what I need to read things that are up close. And the top one has my normal everyday prescription for being able to see around me, see the world around me. And so hopefully that makes sense. Cool. How does the camera work on your computer? Can I have 2 cameras? Micah Flemings, let me know what platform you're using. I believe you're using StreamYard. And so let's kind of walk through how the cameras work here on the computer real quick so that you can kind of get a better feel for that. So now you're seeing the behind the scenes shot in my studio. So again, I have a PTZ camera over here, and G Albert, keep that in mind because I'm coming to you in terms of that faith-based question. There's a PTZ camera right here. It's PTZ optics, so that is there, and it is connected to the A10 Mini, okay? There is a Sony NX cam over here, large-scale production-style camera that is also connected to the A10 Mini. There's a Sony A6000 here connected to the A10 Mini. And then there's this Sony ZV-E10 in front of me, and that's also connected to the A10 Mini. All of those cameras are connected to the A10 Mini, and the A10 Mini camera connectors are HDMI. HDMI going into the A10 Mini, HDMI into the cameras. So that takes care of 4 of the 5 cameras. However, this camera that's off to the side here, that is my main camera. I'm going to go back to my BTS shot so you can see the camera that is behind the teleprompter. Let me go to that camera, this view, right? So this camera, however, is connected using a capture card. So I have a Elgato 4K capture card that is connected to the computer. And so to answer your question, because you said first, how does your cameras work on your computers? That's how they're all connected. Can you have 2 cameras? You can have, as many cameras as you want. Oh, let me give you there are 6 cameras actually. This camera that's behind me is actually a webcam that is USB connected to the computer. So not using the A10 Mini, not using a capture card. And so if you see behind me here in this shot, there is it's blurred, but there's something right there that's blue. You can see that. That is that camera. I'm gonna put my hand down. I don't know, it's not gonna focus on it, but that is that camera. So I have multiple ways of connecting these cameras to my system. A10 Mini over USB-C, straight USB from the webcam that's behind me, and then of course capture card. So that's how I've got all my cameras connected. And you can connect as many cameras as your computer can handle, but your streaming software will also be a limiting factor in terms of how many cameras can you connect at a time. If you have a A10 Mini, you can connect the A10 Mini to StreamYard or any of the tier 2 streaming applications, and then you can go from there. But if you're using something like, if you want to use a capture card, like I'm using for the main camera here, then you would have to connect those, individually to your system. So how many you can have will be dependent upon how you have it connected and depending on what streaming platform you're using. Hopefully that answers the question, Michael Flemings. Thank you so much for the question. I see some of you are responding back. Thank you, House of Ramos. Thanks for the explanation. You're the best. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much for your question. And of course, your question actually is coming up next as well. Said, not familiar with Ecamm. I heard it's a high-end OBS. Can you summarize what Ecamm is best used for? And so I kind of did in that other answer, talking about the different tiers. And why I like Ecamm, it is undoubtedly my favorite streaming platform. And that's the reason why I use it. I'm using it now more than any of the others for my own shows. Now, as a producer, you just keep that in mind. I have multiple different clients that have multiple different use cases, and some of them fit better with one of the other streaming platforms. Maybe EVMUX for a couple of them, and then StreamYard for several others, Restream for at least one. And so there are some reasons why I utilize them, but I have literally been transitioning a lot of them over to Ecamm because Ecamm allows me a workflow that is so simple and easy especially if you're producing the show for yourself. If you're producing the show for yourself and you're using something like StreamYard and having to do some gymnastics in terms of getting the overlay to match the cameras that you have on screen, sometimes that can be very frustrating. And so what I've done is transition people over to Ecamm, where the scenes are completely set, right? And as you go through the scenes, everything's already designed and ready to go for your live show. For example, I'm showing you my screen right now. All I did was hit next scene on my Stream Deck, and that brings me to this scene. This scene has already been designed. I don't have to add the overlay and put the screen share there and all that other stuff. I don't have to do any of that. All that stuff is already designed and ready to go. And so that is something that I absolutely love about Ecamm. And you'll notice that, of course, this camera is the one that's selected here. You notice that my screen is up and I'm showing the Incubator's Couch show. All of those things. And as I go back to the previous scene, bang, we're back. And I'm looking back at the main camera again, and we're good to go. So Ecamm integrates very well with tools like the Stream Deck works. It plays nicely with the A10 Mini Pro if that's the way you want to do it. But you can also set up Ecamm to do things like switching between cameras directly in the system, as long as you have those cameras directly connected to the system. So Ecamm, ultimate cheat code, in my opinion. I'm going to just do live demo mode right quick so you can kind of see my screen. You can see all the things that I'm seeing on the screen right now. This is the program window. This is the sound effects. This is my sound levels, so I know what my Rodecaster Pro sounds like, my movie, my sound effects, my system audio, interview mode, which is my guests. So all of those are there. These are the different scenes, right? These are the different scenes that I can use. Here's yet another scene that I can click on, and you can click on them, of course, but the easier way, of course, is just to hit the Stream Deck. But this is what Ecamm looks like. And then in every scene, you have overlays. And so some people get overwhelmed. It's really completely up to you as to how complicated or how simple you want Ecamm to function. But the thing that I love the most about Ecamm is the fact that you get to set it ahead of time and then forget it. During the live show, I can have one video roll into another video or roll into another scene, and everything's already designed and ready. And so you can actually just deliver content and not have to worry about clicking the buttons to make the show go. So I really absolutely love that about Ecamm. So thank you for the question. Hopefully that answered it. G. Albert is with us. It says, hey, for large/mid-sized churches, what cameras do you prefer, PTZ, stationary, or manned? I want to just say yes to this question. I want to say yes. I think for mid to large churches, especially, depending on where you are, if you're a mid-sized church, I think you need to have at least one manned camera, right? And then, and sometimes, people want to say, okay, well, that could be a PTZ because you have somebody who's on the controller, right? The remote control for the PTZ, and that could work. But I think you can utilize PTZ maybe in some of the side shots, but that main shot, that main camera, if you're a mid to large church, that main shot that's on the stage, that's looking at whoever's the speaker or whoever's engaging the audience at that current moment, even if it's a singer, speaker, preacher, doesn't matter. But that main camera, that camera should be manned. That camera should have somebody who's following along. And by following along, I don't mean just with a PTZ. I think you need to have somebody who's manning that camera. So for mid to large churches, I think you need to have a hybrid. Depending on what types of views you want to have in your church, you may need to set up some PTZ cameras in some places that's going to give you a view and a perspective for your audience that's watching online that they may not otherwise get a chance to see. So PTZ can help you to fill some of those spots and give you multiple angles because you can move them. They're not stationary. And so I think PTZ is good. Manned cameras is good. I don't know that a stationary camera is of use anymore. I think the way that production is done, especially if you're mid to large, you don't want to just set a camera and forget it. This is not like I'm in my studio and I'm not moving from the chair. People are going to be moving around. You may want to capture something that's happening on a different part of the stage. So if the camera is not manned, then at least let it be remotely controlled so that you can move it around. At a minimum, you zoom in and crop in on the shot so that you can actually give the perspective that your audience needs to see. So that would be my answer to that question. Thank you so much. Tony T-Burn is in the building. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. From your experience, which platform do you recommend for someone on a PC that offers the best functions and produces the best live stream? All right, so Tony T-Burn, thank you so much for that question. So because I love that tier 3 space. I think we a lot of times you are going to feel the limitations of tier 2, no matter what level of production you are at or expertise you're at. You're going to feel those limitations at some point. Tier 2 is great, especially for people getting started, especially for people who just, self-producing a live show, need to bring a guest in. Tier 2 is phenomenal for that. But I think to answer your question in terms of which platform do I recommend for someone on a PC that offers the best functions and produces the best live stream, I would have to say VMix. On PC, I think VMix, it is, the only issue with VMix is that learning curve. It does offer so much rich functionality and features that are comparable, in my opinion, to Ecamm. So I would say VMix. I would definitely do VMix. Now, VMix, the cost is unfortunately prohibitive, but it does have the feature set that would allow you, in my opinion, to produce the best live experience for your guests. I hope that makes sense. Tony T. Byrne, thank you so much for your question. We truly appreciate you coming through today. Oh, JP High Tech Reviews is here. He says, what's good, brother? Man, what's good with you? Thank you so much for coming through. Oh, House of Rama says, I think you just converted me over to Ecamm. Here's the thing, man. I have been bringing people over to Ecamm, and a lot of people, when they come over to Ecamm, they're first at overwhelmed. And so I have a 15-part series. Maybe that's the StreamYard one. Maybe it's 10-part. I don't know. But I have a multi-video playlist on my channel that says Getting Started with Ecamm, and I walk you through these videos. I need to refresh it because I did that last year, and Ecamm has backed up a truckload of functions and features and added them to the platform. So there's a lot of limitations that we used to have to consider when using Ecamm that you no longer have to. Two of them, real quick, was Ecamm only did up to 4 guests. Now, personally, I don't think you need any more than 4 guests for a live show. If you're doing an hour-long live show and you have more than 4 guests, those 4 guests are not going to get a chance to speak very often. That's just the truth. Trust me, I used to do a live show with 6 guests every week, and I had to cut that down. I cut it down to 2 guests, and then I eventually cut it down to 1. So now I only have 1 guest per live show, as you just won't get enough time to really engage with that particular guest. You can't give them, attention. You can't allow your audience to truly engage with them if you have more. So that's a whole other conversation for another time. But Ecamm has since extended that to now being 10. You can have 10 guests in the system. It's crazy. And then the other limitation was you could only stream to 1 destination. That was Ecamm's thing. You could stream to 1 destination. So a lot of us were using Ecamm, going to Restream, and then Restream to all your destinations. Not so anymore. You can stream up to as many destinations as your bandwidth at home can handle. And they've even built into the system a speed test that you can run to say your bandwidth can handle this amount of destinations for the stream that you're doing right now. That said, I also want to share this, Rama. Is that I am using a Mac Mini M1, right? A Mac Mini M1, and I believe this is the 8 gig. I want to say this is the 8 gig device. Yup, 8 gigs of memory, not 16. And I've been using it to not only do my shows with Ecamm, and I've produced other people's shows with you. Now I'm about to upgrade to the Mac Studio, but this base model Mac Mini that you could probably buy on Facebook Marketplace or on Craigslist for like $200, $300 at most. Like somebody wants you to pay $400 for this, tell them, pump brakes. But the Mac Mini M1, 8 gig of RAM, can run Ecamm like a boss. Now, it just needs to make sure it's an M1 processor, but it runs Ecamm like a boss, and I think it's such a easy lift. So even to my guy, Tony T. Byrne, yes, you can only use Ecamm on a Mac. Even to my guy, Tony T. Byrne, I have clients who opted, rather than learning VMix, to simply purchase a Mac Mini to run Ecamm only. They don't run anything else on it. They still have their PC to do all their regular functions and features, but they just purchased a Mac Mini for, I think in the case of this one particular client, she paid $300 for the Mac Mini, and that's now on her desk permanently running Ecamm, and that's what she uses for her live shows. She purchased a streaming package from me has all the scenes designed. Literally, when she got that package from me, she double clicked on the package because that's how dope Ecamm is. It opened up the folder in Ecamm. All of her scenes were already ready from the flyer to the outro and everything in between. So flyer, going to the countdown clock, going to the intro video, going to her one shot of herself, to her interview shot with her and a guest, going to her multi-interview shot with her and 2 guests, her and 3 guests, her and 4 guests. Then she could also do a share screen shot with her or share screen shot with her and a guest. Then she had bumper videos already designed, her outro with credits that ended the broadcast. And then the last was, everything was already designed and ready to go. So keep that in mind. There are some things that you can absolutely look into. I mean, I wanted to answer your question earlier, Tony, but I also wanted to just kind of add that in as well. Demolition News says, I'm back from vacation in Italy and delighted to find Kirk going live to get me back into broadcast mode. Come on, Demolition News, man. Listen, Italy is on my list. This summer was ridiculously phenomenal. We made up for all the non-travel that we didn't get a chance to do during the pandemic. So we went to, over the summer, we went to South Africa. We went to Israel. We went to Zambia. We went back to South Africa because while we were in South Africa, we went to Zambia. Then we came back to South Africa to go to Cape Town, which is, anyway, on the Atlantic. Anyway, came back to Johannesburg, came home. Kids went off to do their summer camp thing. Then my wife and I went for a speaking engagement in Brazil, in Sao Paulo to be specific. And then once the speaking engagement was done, we spent our anniversary in Rio. So absolutely phenomenal. Came back home and had a family event in Jamaica. My whole family is Jamaican, so my siblings and I, my parents, we all went to Jamaica. So this summer has been absolutely epic, and we've been able to do a good amount of travel. Absolutely excited about this summer. So I'm resonating with you, Demolition News. I also have kind of got to shake off the, as they call it, cobwebs of vacation mode and get back into the rhythm. So absolutely excited about being live today and being able to answer some of your questions. So here we go. Recipes live says, so I'm planning to have 4 cameras, 1 main, 2 close-up food prepping, 3 overhead, and 4 side view leading into a PC. I'm using a tablet as a monitor. I also have a Stream Deck and an AI camera. So that's okay. I'm planning on having 4 cameras, right? So 1 main, 2 close-up food prepping, 3 overhead. Okay. So those are the cameras. So 1 main, right? 1 that's going to be for a close-up and food prep, 1 that's going to be overhead, and 1 that's going to be for the side view. I thought you were saying you could have 4 side view cameras. I was like, whoa, you got a lot of cameras. So all of those will be connected to your A10 Mini. And then you said, I'm planning on using the tablet as a monitor. I don't know what you mean by that, sir. I don't know what you mean by having the tablet as a monitor. I don't know how that part works. So, but I think, absolutely having a Stream Deck is going to be critical to be able to switch between the two. But if you're using an A10 Mini, there is a companion app that you want to use, install on your computer that will allow you to control certain aspects of the A10 Mini from the Stream Deck if you want to just use the Stream Deck alone. If you just want to use the Stream Deck alone to kind of do all the different things that you want to do, or you can just kind of keep the Stream Deck and the A10 Mini together. But depending on where your cameras are, sometimes it's easier to have, all your wires coming into the A10 Mini, but not necessarily have the A10 Mini right next to you. Whereas the Stream Deck, just 1 wire going back to your computer, and you have that Stream Deck maybe with you on the counter as you do different things. So that would be really dope as well. Recipes live. Hey, listen, make sure to drop us a picture. I'm putting my email address in the chat right now. I would love for you to drop us a picture, Recipes Live. And I love the title, by the way, Recipes Live. I just think that's going to be so dope. But yeah, make sure you drop us a picture. I'd love to be able to chat with you for about 15 minutes as well, man. So if you've got time, I'm putting my QR code on screen here for just a second. If you have time, grab 15 minutes on my calendar. It's there. Just scan that and you'll see where it says 15 minutes. Grab 15 minutes. I'd love to chat with you further about a couple of different things, maybe 1 or 2 ideas that you could utilize for that show. I think it's gonna really dope experience that you're setting up for your audience. I love how intentional you're being about it. I love the title of your channel. I think you have the potential to really blow up, man. I'd love to just kind of pour in. So not really a hard sell or anything like that, but if you got 15 minutes and you want to grab 15 minutes on my calendar, I'd love to be able to connect with you. So hopefully that's helpful. And again, I'll leave the QR code up there for anybody else that's might be interested as well. JP High Tech is here. Content. I love it. Just Corinthians. I was just about to ask about the video playlist and how current it is. How current is the info on Ecamm? Yeah. So the video playlist is fairly current, but the course, I do have a course, House of Rama. I have a course on Ecamm as well. That's $50 right now. So if you want to grab that, it's $50 and you can grab that and you can learn Ecamm through that way, or you can just grab a consult session with me and we can just walk through Ecamm together. Take an hour and walk through some of the highlights of Ecamm and make sure that you have it all set up and everything's right. So any way that you want to do that, I don't know when I'll be able to refresh the playlist on YouTube. We'll see. I'm definitely going to do some Ecamm update videos because I think there's just so many things that they've rolled out since I put my playlist out there that I need to be able to cover on my channel. So definitely want to make sure that we get that out there as well. Eric is on the live. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Eric. I love that. Let me see here. I've had the QR code up long enough, I think, for those that wanted to grab it. If you didn't get a chance to grab it, just scrub backward, pause the video, scan that bad boy, and you'll be good to go. But Eric, thank you so much. Says, hi, everyone from Paris. I just love how international this live is right around now. Wow, a Mac Mini M1 is powering all of this content you're pumping out. That is fire. Yo, House of Raymond, I'm telling you, I specifically set this up this way because I wanted to eliminate all the excuses that I constantly hear from coaching clients when they tell me, well, I need this and I need this and I need this. And I'm like, nah. I put out multiple videos a week. I do multiple live shows, not only my own where but I'm guest on others. And I have a Mac Mini sitting on my desk. Mac Mini, 8 gig of RAM. It's not high spec, anything like that. So do I have all of the equipment? Yes. What do I actually use on a day-to-day basis? I use that MacBook Pro that you see over there when I'm at the office. And I use my iPhone with continuity camera, because that's what I have access to. I'm not going to walk with all this stuff when I'm on the road. So keep those things in mind. Less can sometimes be more. Eden Lou is on the live. Yo. I keep on forgetting about all my triggers and, all the sound effects that we have. I should have been using these long before. Eden Lou, what's good, sis? Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. Always appreciate when we have members of the community coming through. I'm trying to catch up to all the comments. So G. Albert, I see both of yours. I'm just going to make sure I have starred those. House of Rama says, you do custom packages for Ecamm. Going to look into that from your company. Save time creating that while learning the software. Absolutely. We do custom stream packages. That is actually our primary work. We produce shows for clients who want the done for you experience. But for those who are in the DIY space, similar to you and similar to, I believe it is a Recipe Live, we will create an entire stream package that includes the intro, the outro with credits, that includes the overlays if you're using StreamYard, or overlays, custom designed scenes if you're using Ecamm. It will also include bumper videos, which helps you to change from one scene to the next and kind of gives you that breaking point in the video. It also allows you a clear point to be able to add your chapter markers and to be able to clip out certain pieces of your show if you just want to drop out one piece for a podcast or drop out one piece to repurpose for social media. Those bumper videos can be critical. There's a whole methodology around the stream packages that we create. And we would love to be able to chat with you about that. And again, I'm gonna throw the QR code back up. If you're interested in a stream package, then grab a discovery call, right? I was just talking, 15 minutes is just for us to have a quick little chat. It's not a sell, But the discovery call is for me to learn a little bit more about you, and some of the ways that we can engage with you to be able to help build your brand, help you get whatever it is you're working on off the ground, and maybe even help you get unstuck a little bit. But it's really for us to learn about you, and then we can offer you some services that will either help you get unstuck or free services that we currently have available that you may not be aware of. So keep that in mind. Thank you so much for making that point, House of Rama. Seek Things Above TV says, greetings, bro. The Mac Minis are insane. I recently got the M2 and can't believe how it blows my Windows laptop out of the water. I got to put this on screen because I totally agree with you, man. It is absolutely unfair how the Mac Minis, especially that M2, it is stupid how fast that joint is. That is absolutely crazy. Eden Lewis on the live says, awesome that you've gotten to hit so many fun and different spots. Yes, it was a crazy summer and I enjoyed every single bit of it. Darius Bass is on the live, says hello. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Recipes Live says numbers. Yes. I figured it out, but yes, numbers. Okay, I will try that out. Question for Darius Bass. I'm just gonna bust. I keep on saying Bass, but it's bust. I'm gonna get to those questions. I'm just scrolling through here. Sounds awesome. Simply Obs is on the live. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Is Ecamm available on Windows PC? No, it is not. Unfortunately, it is not. I can answer that one fairly quickly. My wife just told me she purchased all your courses and Ecamm is one of them. I've only been studying the StreamYard and remote production course. Look at that, House of Ramia. Listen, you already have it. You already have it. I have a dope wife. She's already on it. You're a blessing, bro. Best channel on YouTube. This is awesome. Thank you. Look at that. Already owned the course. So definitely check that out. And if you add comments in the under the course, I will respond directly to those comments. None of my team responds to those comments or questions. I respond to those comments underneath the course anytime that they come in. So definitely check those out. Let me know if you have questions, and we have some refresher content that we'll be adding to some of those courses in the near future. So good things to come. All right, we got 4 questions that I need to get back to. JP High Tech says, what's good, brother? Now he put a question mark. He put a question mark on there. What's good, brother? Let me answer his question. What's good is I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be live, excited to hang out with all these awesome, phenomenal people that are here to get their questions answered, I'm excited about that. So you can see this is what we're doing today. Ask me anything, live video Q&A session. Ask your questions in the chat. And we'll make sure we catch those questions. All right. NDI is still very nice to have in the toolkit. Would you also place NDI into multiple tier, developer mode, support mode like New Tech? I use NDI. My NDI, just wanted to know your thoughts. Yeah. Use NDI to spread resources effectively. I still believe NDI is a cheat code in terms of being able to bring in multiple cameras from different sources. I recently did a project with a client where they had people sitting in the audience at different places, and they had NDI installed on all of their phones. And so each one of those phones were basically selectable in the stream. Right, they could literally select the person's phone and give the audience that's watching at home, right, that view from somebody's phone. And now every one of those phones were on a monopod, on an arm, or the phone grip that you have. You put the phone into the little clip, but it was on a monopod. So the phone wasn't kind of like at eye level or hand level. The phones were up above, as the whole audience was sitting down. And so you kind of got all these different vantage points just because of the NDI. And I think that's absolutely awesome. People always talk about Continuity Cam and several other platforms, and I think those are great. Camo is another one. I know we got Eden in the chat. Camo is another one, and they're getting ready to roll out some really cool new things. I know I can't talk about all of it because I got an email from them talking about being a part of the beta program. Definitely want to check that out, but I can't tell you anything about that. I see what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to, prime the pump a little bit. But no, Camo is another one that's got some really cool stuff, and you can install these applications on phones and then be able to access those phones. Now, Camo, I believe you have to connect to the computer. But NDI, as you mentioned, Albert, definitely gives you the ability to grab those things over Wi-Fi. Question, Darius Bass has a question. So Darius says, what's a better alternative to StreamYard that is cheaper? I've got to pause here, Darius Bass. I've got to pause here. I'm trying my best not to go into coach mode. So Darius, help me, and nice tease, Kirk. Help me understand that. Help me understand that question a little bit more, Darius. So you want a platform that gives you more functions and features, that is more stable, that is higher quality than StreamYard, but you want it cheaper. You see, I'm pausing because I want to make sure you hear that question redirected back to you. I just for context, before StreamYard came out, in order to do what StreamYard does, you would have to buy a minimum of about $3,000 worth of equipment. Minimum. Now with StreamYard, you have the ability to have an encoder in the cloud that allows you to stream to up to 8 destinations, I think it is, on the main tier plan. Or you can actually stream to a couple destinations for free. Like there's a free plan with StreamYard. There's a free plan with EVMUX. So I'm a little confused by the question. You know I love you, Darius, but I just want to make sure I give you that coaching pushback. I want you to think through what are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to achieve? You're trying to grow an audience for free 99? Because anything, I would not share with anyone anything that costs me nothing. So what platform can I use that is better than StreamYard, that is cheaper? I don't know that there's an answer to that question. But that question, in and of itself, in my opinion, it has inherent in it an imbalance in terms of perspective. I look at these tools and these gear and these platforms as a means to achieve a specific result. What is that result for you? What is your why for wanting to go live? And once we understand what that why is, then we can fund it. Then you can get sponsors behind it. If that's the issue, then we can get a sponsor. Then sponsor is going to help you to pay for the 1-year subscription, so you're not paying monthly. And I don't believe that 1-year subscription is something that's unattainable. But I think the main thing for many people as they get into this space and they start to see the price tag and they're like, this is too expensive, is because their why is not defined and it's not big enough. That's the first piece. The second piece is they have not assessed themselves to see, are they a sound investment? Should I invest in me? Am I going to buy this 1-year subscription for Ecamm that's about $500 for the year and then never use it again and waste that $500? Then absolutely do not go that route. If you know that you're going to, after a month, you know how many people have subscriptions to StreamYard that after the pandemic is done, they've never touched it again, because the pandemic was the impetus for them to, their why was actually the fact that they had more time. And now the pandemic is gone. They don't have time anymore. That why is gone. And so their interest in actually sharing their value with the world has gone. I was talking to a client, and they were like, there's a channel I used to follow that was really active during the pandemic, and it has disappeared since then. We were getting immense value from that channel, and they're gone now. Podcasts that are just left dead. Like the wake of people realizing that they got to go back to work and they don't have the time. It's no longer convenient to create content anymore. They got rid of it. And I'm simply saying, we want to make sure that we have our why in place. We want to make sure that we are a sound investment. I know for me that a sound investment for me to purchase a gym membership. That's not a sound investment. Not because I would not be consistent. I'm not leaving home to go to the gym. So what did I do? I invested in a home gym. That's a sound investment for Kirk. Your sound investment may be that you go and invest in a gym membership because you know leaving the house means you're going to actually get your workout in. For me, it's the opposite. So you got to know yourself and recognize what's the best way for me to invest in me. And I hope that makes sense. Let me get off my soapbox. Still researching going live for the first time on YouTube. Home Rapid Repair says, after the stream, do we do something to settings so it can be seen later as a video on demand? No, don't have to do anything. It's already available for people to watch on demand as soon as you end the live. So it's already ready to go. Thank you for that question, Home Rapid Repair. I'm going to try and grab, nope, I think I got all the other questions. So I'm just going to throw that question on the screen. But yes, you don't need to do anything. But inherent in your comment, Home Rapid Repair, is another thing that I want to deal with. And that is the concept of I'm still researching. There's not a whole lot of research that needs to be done in terms of whether or not to go live. Who are you trying to reach? What is the message you want to reach them with? How critical is it for them to get that message? Do you think they want the answer to that question, to that issue, to that solution that you have to provide? Do you think they want it in 2 months, in a year, in 6 months' time? Or do you think they want it yesterday? Do you think they want it now? So I'm just challenging you. I hope that you receive the pushback with love, but I'm just challenging you to recognize that what you're going live to share has value. And there's somebody that has been waiting. What's his name? House of Rama says, you are a blessing, bro. Best channel on YouTube. I don't get puffed up when I see comments like this. What I think about is the fact that I almost didn't start. I think about the fact that I almost didn't start and who would fill the space that How It All Works currently exists in if I never put one foot in front of the other. That's what I want to leave you with. All right, EBM Scholars is here. You're salting. Oh, the best production on YouTube, Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Value for value. I see somebody says here, man. Value for value. Eden Lou is with Gary Link is on here. You're salting our tongues. Pause. Gigi Albert says, okay. Value for value. More facts. EVMUX. Eric says, okay, StreamYard is way better and more affordable, plus easy to use. I only use StreamYard. Listen, personal preference, EBM Scholars. I'm coming back to you. I will contact you later when I get out of bed. It's 4:30 a.m. here. Recipe Live says, dope. Definitely hit me up. I'd love to be able to chat with you a little bit. Does EVMUX plan include a function to display multiple videos to select from like StreamYard? Yeah, it has way more than that, actually. It's just a totally different methodology of doing it. But yes, you can upload videos into the studio just like you can in StreamYard, and you can play them from your asset library, if you will, or you can actually play local videos that are sitting on your machine. You can play them into the stream using EVMUX as well. So definitely good. The perception of value, zero, is the reality. Yeah, a lot of folks stop doing content. I see that. Only problem I have with StreamYard is that people's comments don't show up in the chat from Facebook. If you have it set to go live on your personal page, support is investigating the issue. So Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, there are people on from there are people on the stream today from Facebook, but they're on my Facebook page. And I've generally never had a problem with seeing their name and their picture when they're on my page. When they're watching from my Facebook profile, there sometimes can be an issue just depending on how they have interacted with StreamYard. But I don't know. I know that StreamYard is looking into several issues, but definitely something that is, I want to say, it is not specific to StreamYard. I'm not coming to StreamYard's defense. I'm simply saying that particular issue is related to the destination. And so you can have that same issue with Ecamm. You can have that same issue with Restream. You can have that same issue with EVMUX, along with StreamYard, where when you're streaming to a Facebook page or, personal profile, you can't get that name and that picture back from the system. So that's a Facebook issue that StreamYard trying to work alongside Facebook to figure out a way to, have that be consistent and solve it. But I'm telling you, other platforms are experiencing the same. So just want to make sure that we point that out. Okay. All right. I've got to get to some questions. Lost in Translation podcast says, I'm in an argument with someone over this very topic. Add value. Lost in Translation podcast. Listen, add value. Add value. It is never bad. It's never a bad thing to be known for good work. It is never a bad thing to be known for providing value. Value. I hope that is so clear for us today. Okay. Let me see here. I've been trying to go live. All right, I'm gonna star that one. Red, white, and blue sports. I'm gonna star that one. I'm coming back to you. Thank God you're doing what you're doing. It's a blessing. It's blessing me in ways I can't type. And God bless you with the spirit of making it simple and plain. Too many folks say a whole lot and leave you more confused. That's correct. I get them from my Facebook page, but not my personal profile. Good. I got you. Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. All right. So I'm gonna take red, white, and blue sports comment first. I'm gonna come to you, EBM scholars. I hope you're still here. I've been trying to go live, but I have a disability and just nervous to do a daily live. Let me ask you a question, red, white, and blue sports. You don't have to share what your disability is, but yes or no, are there others who have your disability? I would imagine the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, for every person that has that disability, they could be watching your show and get inspiration from you. But I want to talk about the secondary group. The secondary group are people like you who are family members. So you have this disability, but there are family members that you have as well. And there are family members. I remember, oh man, this is so good. I was chatting with a former colleague, and I was talking to her about her son. Her son is autistic, and she's not autistic. Her son is autistic, but we were both working in higher ed. She was able to work with those who have autism in a way that none of the rest of us can, because it's touched her life in a different way. And so what I'm saying is, not just those who have the same disability as you, but those who are family members who love someone who has the same disability as you. I know that disabilities come in all types of shapes and sizes, but if we step back from disability for just a second, I want to take it to a different realm. Another client has a family member who is an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic. They're a couple of years sober at this point, so we clap it up for them. But they recognize the struggle and the life of someone who is on that journey. They themselves have never had a problem with addiction to alcohol, but they are a supporter of someone who has. That person is someone who resonates with any kind of content that's put out there to help alcoholics survive. So what I'm saying is, there are already built in two audiences that you can speak to. Two audiences. I don't know if you follow the show Chosen. There's one of the guy that's on there that pays Little James. He has a limp in real life. And the writers and the producers of the show asked him to stop trying to hide your limp. We need more limp for the character because people resonate with the limp. My God. All right, I'm trying to calm myself back down. I feel like when we approach content on platforms like these, we approach it from the perspective of that it has to be perfect. Nothing could be further from the truth. doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be real. And the more real it is, the more people resonate with it. And when they resonate with it, they consume more. They find themselves as part of the community. They self-identify as someone who had been touched and helped immensely by your content. I hope that helps you. I'm getting back into the comments here. I have a quick question about on-air webinar on StreamYard. Are they going to allow paid registration if you want to have paid registration for people to attend? I will take that question. Most of my StreamYard expertise comes from watching all of your training. You're the best teacher. Your videos are of very high quality and content is 100% on point. Thank you so much, EBM scholars. I will take that question and talk to my contact at StreamYard. I'm not saying that facetiously. Oh, we got a super sticker. We got a super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Smiling. I truly appreciate that. Red, white, and blue sports. I truly appreciate that. I hope that something I said resonates. I don't want to dive back in, but I hope that something I said resonates. I truly believe that there's somebody out there that's waiting for the content that you have to share. But yes, absolutely. And EBM scholars, I want to say thank you. I'm not blowing smoke. I have a couple of contacts at StreamYard that are actually StreamYard employees, and I will ask them if that is something that is on the roadmap. But the other thing that I would say, and I'm pretty certain you already do this if you've been using StreamYard for a long time, you've heard me say that the StreamYard Town Hall on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. my time. I guess it's 8 p.m. Eastern. That StreamYard Town Hall is also another really good wealth of knowledge, and it's a place for us to be able to get our questions answered. And I think if enough of us ask for that functionality, it's definitely something that they will add on. The on-air webinar functionality is something that StreamYard is very much focused on. It really helps to set them apart. It is really their competitor to things like Zoom and others that don't give you the same level of production value that you have with StreamYard. So definitely something to be mindful of. And if we can find ways to improve it, that'd be great as well. So I love that. And anything we can do to help monetize creators, I think we need to be looking into. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And I'm excited about your comment. Thank you so much for your message here. That just kind of, this is the reason why I do what I do. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of it. This is the reason I do what I do, because seeing those kinds of comments, seeing that kind of feedback from people who have been impacted because I decided to hit the red button and record a video to share with people how to do a specific thing in StreamYard. That's mindful for me. That's correct. Let's see here. Trust the process, Michael Fleming says. Don't let the enemy take your life away. I see that. Thank you so much. 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday is the StreamYard timeout. Is it really 9? I thought it was. Okay, I guess it's 8 for me, and then it's 9 for East Coast. But I'm just putting that super sticker back up there again. Cannot thank you enough for that vote of confidence, for that support. I think that's absolutely awesome. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Okay. Now, 10 of you on the live. Let me see where we're at in terms of time. I've got about 12 minutes remaining. So if you have any other questions, I think I've gone through all of them. All of the ones that I had favorited are all gone now. So if you have any other questions, I'd love to be able to engage. I just realized that my TV behind me turned off. I don't like that. I mean, come on, get the TV back on. I got to get the TV back on, right? But if you have any other questions, I would love to be able to engage with you further on your questions. EBM says your channel has so much value, brother. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What does EBM stand for? I was in a organization in high school called Ebony Scholars, and that was in St. Petersburg, Florida. So I'm just curious as to what EBM stands for. If you could let me know about that. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you so much for your support. Truly means the world to me. I don't take it lightly. People have spent the last, hour and change with us, hour and 20 minutes with us. And again, what we're doing here today, I'm just going to throw it back on screen. One more gain, as they say. That's not it. Is this right here? This is what we're doing here today. And that is Ask Me Anything live video Q&A sessions. Definitely would love to hear your comments, hear your questions, anything that we can do to answer those and get you unstuck, as they say. Please let us know in the chat. Let's see here. EBM scholars, EBM is my abbreviation. Oh, okay, Ernest. Okay, cool. Makulilo. Where are you from, bro? Makulilo. I hope I am saying that correctly. Am I saying that right? Makulilo. Ernest. Yeah, talk to me. Well, where's he from? Where's that last name from? I said, that is a rich last name. I love it. So I have two YouTube channels, both with EBM. I love it. I love it. I love that you're being intentional about the space that you're existing in and how you are showing up and how you are allowing people to have access to your greatness, to have access to your secret sauce, have access to your story. So your story is only yours. No one else can share your story. It quite literally is a one of a kind. They broke the mold. ML Miller says, hey, pastor and viewers, thank you so much for being here. It's been a minute. Lisa. Thank you so much for showing up. Faith House says, would you trust Ecamm as a platform for a church's weekly live stream? I just hear so many people using ProPresenter and I wonder why. Ecamm and ProPresenter are not the same. So ProPresenter, I use ProPresenter in Ecamm at my church every week. I hope that answers your question, Faith House. I use ProPresenter in Ecamm every week. I don't have to use ProPresenter. It's just that my church is used to using ProPresenter for graphics, but we're using Ecamm. We're using Ecamm for our live broadcast every week. And if you want to know what church that is, it's Oakwood University Church here in Huntsville, Alabama. I can drop a link in the comments if you're interested, just for you to be able to go and check it out. But we have no less than 4,000 people watching on a week-to-week basis, and we use Ecamm to broadcast every single week. You are saying it correctly. I am originally from Tanzania. TZ in the house. Whoa. TZ in the house. TZ. Yo, I absolutely love Tanzania, specifically Zanzibar. So yes, you are good people in my book, man. Makulilo. I saw that, and I immediately said, this person's from the continent, man. I gotta be. And listen, it's the way that the surname is written. I was like, that person's from the continent. Somebody's from the motherland. I lived in South Africa for 5 years, from 2010 to 2015. So, got a chance to visit a lot of different places. I've got some really good friends. The Mwamakambas said that there's some really good friends of mine who are from Tanzania. So, TZ in the house, man. Oh man, that's so cool. That is so cool, man. And you did a super chat as well. Whoa, that is awesome. Thank you so much. My Rodecaster Pro won't let me be great. Thank you so much for the super chat. We truly appreciate that. We truly appreciate that. You guys have been so kind. You guys have been so kind today. Michael Flemings is laughing. Wow, you had a great time in Africa. Oh, absolutely. I had a great time. And we went back this summer to visit. So Faith House says, as a follow-up, he or she says, thanks a lot. I'd love to check it out. Associate pastor for digital discipleship here. I'm just trying to move us forward. First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens, Somerset, New Jersey. My wife's actually from Orange, New Jersey. She grew up in Orange, New Jersey. So I went to a church called Church of the Oranges. I'm actually a media pastor at my church. So that's what I do, and I engage the audience on our church broadcast on a week-to-week basis. So I'll definitely drop that that title or that name, I should say, in the comments. Go back to the switcher just for a second so I can type and not look away from you. Let me see what we got here. What is the meaning of Makulilo? All right, I normally play. Glad I was able to connect with you in real life. Cool. Faith House says he, my bad. How do I adjust the ZVE 10 so my skin tone isn't pink or red? I have the gray screen thingy. All right, I'm going to come back to that comment in just a second. Lisa, I think EBM Scholars is responding to you, Eric, saying yes, that the name is Swahili. And if you know, then, Kenya and Tanzania, they speak Swahili. So, yeah. Let's go. Let me go back here. I know I'm missing something. Oh, I'm typing the link. Let me get the link for you to our YouTube channel. It's a university church, Oakwood University Church. Oakwood University is a HBCU, historically black university, here in Huntsville, Alabama. And let's see what we got here. All right, it doesn't want to let me be great in terms of finding the channel. Okay. Oakwood University Church. I mean, if you just put that in, it'll get you there. But I'm about to drop the link in the chat right now. So Faith House, bang, there you go. Thank you for that and allowing me to share that. I think that's absolutely awesome. It's so cool. We have that in common. We're both media pastors in a sense, right? So cool. I don't know if there's like a group for people who do what we do. Faith House. I wonder. Because you said associate pastor for digital discipleship here. Absolutely awesome. I love that title. I'm media pastor, but I mainly deal with online engagement. And so digital discipleship is actually under my charge, under my portfolio, if you will. So definitely excited to hear that. And this is something that, of course, came out of the pandemic. Positions like ours, I don't know about in your faith tradition, but in my faith tradition, they didn't exist before the pandemic. So I'm excited that they're seeing the need to draw people in who have these skill sets to do what we do, to be able to engage the online audience in ways that are effective. And then, of course, also to encourage the larger body that's in person to be able to take their skills and go into the content marketplace and begin to start sharing their stories as well. Like we set up a whole studio at my church to be able to capture some of those stories from people who would never do it themselves. So now we've taken that excuse out of their toolbox. They can't say, oh, I don't have anywhere to record it anymore because we have a place at the church. And so church members are able to come in and schedule time to be able to record their testimonies, record content if they want to. As long as they've gone through some training with us, we have that as something that we do as well. Love it. Let's get the group started. I think we should. That's a thing. I mean this, real talk. Drop me an email, faithhouse.info@howitallworks.com. Drop me an email. Just say, hey, Faith House from YouTube. Just say that in the email and I'll follow up with you because I think that's something that needs to happen. Thanks to you, my production value has definitely increased. Thank you for all you do. Lost in translation. Thank you so much, sir. I truly, y'all, I want you to know I truly appreciate that. There are times where you start to say to yourself, I wonder, should I continue doing this? Is this still being effective? But comments like these help to make it unequivocal that we're on the right track. All right, I am going to get to Lisa Miller's question here. And then I'm going to probably get ready to close it out. Eric was asking, what does Makulilo mean, EBM scholars? So if you can let us know what does it mean, that would be dope. So, oh, my bad. You did respond. Traditionally, Makulilo comes from the word mlilo, which means fire. It's a tribal name, tribe in Lake. Thank you. Listen, I love this stuff. I'm going to put that comment up so that those watching the replay can kind of catch what was being said there. That is absolutely dope. I love that there are so many different meanings to these names. When I was in South Africa, they told me that my name means church. And if you know Afrikaans, which is one of the languages in South Africa, then you know that it's spelled differently, K-E-R-K, but all of the churches all over the country have K-E-R-K on them because Kerk in Afrikaans means church. So I thought that was absolutely awesome. In fact, there's some friends that know me from when I lived there that still call me church to this day. So I thought that was absolutely awesome. Okay, Lisa Miller, this is your question. You said, how do I adjust the ZV-10 so my skin tone isn't pink or red? I have the gray screen thingy. I don't know what you mean by the gray screen. I don't know what you mean by the gray screen. I'm on the ZV-10 right now. How can I show you the back of it? I wonder. I wonder how I could do that. How could I do that? I'm trying to think it through. Think it through. Let's do a cut. All right, so here we've got that. So this is the ZV. Okay. I might need the mic. Okay, this is the ZV-E10. And I'm going to just all right, so you can see me on the side there. All right, so this is the ZV-E10. I wish I could zoom in a little bit more. Probably gonna just disconnect it. That's probably not good, but I'm disconnecting so you can kind of see that a little bit better. So there's the ZV-E10. I'm gonna go to the function button. I'm hitting function, and what I want you to see, I don't know, can you see that very well? Hopefully you can. Maybe let's, I was gonna put the cap back on it, but I must have put it away. But this is hitting the function button brings up a menu, and what I'm wanting you to do is really go to the creative style, and when you get to the creative style, oh, maybe let's do it this way. Is that any better? If I cover my eyes, yeah, it is better. So let's do that. Let's make a switch. Okay, so covering the eyes. Yeah, that's way better. I think that's better. What do you think? Lisa, let me know in the comments. But the creative style, it's the gray and black mark in the middle. I don't know, gray and black mark in the middle. I don't know. But if you go to creative style, you have a number of options on the side of the camera. On the side there, you can see there's a, this is crazy. I've actually seen my, okay, anyway, don't get distracted, Kirk. But you see vivid and standard and several others. Have you changed those? I think maybe sometimes when those are not selected properly, you can have a bit of a challenge in terms of what you said, the skin tones and things looking purple and different things like that. So another thing that I would also recommend is making sure that you are not Recipes Live says excellent show. Making sure that you're not judging your picture by what you see on a particular screen. Judge your picture by what you see on the camera here. If you aren't looking, if your colors look fine here, then do a test record and see what that end product looks like, because it may actually be fine. Sometimes, sometimes that can happen as well. I know that that's something that happens to me. But yeah, that is, let's go back here. But those are some of the things that I would recommend. And thank you for the question and for the opportunity to be able to share. I don't know that I'm unless we jump on a quick call, Lisa. I'm thinking that trying to troubleshoot this live may or may not have good results. So I think we're just gonna leave it where it is for now. Oh. Yes, I'm doing that. Light skinned sisters are looking purple like Barbie. No, we can't have that. We can't have that. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. So definitely, there we go. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can. Let's pink and purple. Pink and purple. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into that. And maybe I'll drop you an email. But I am so glad you were here. So glad that you were able to come and hang out with us today. It is absolutely amazing what we've been able to do, how we've been able to hang out, all that we've been able to cover in this. Was this helpful? Let me know in the chat. 14 of you guys on the live. Every now and again, I like to just go live and answer questions, share with you guys some of the things that we have going on. But I'm hoping that this was helpful for you. I absolutely enjoy it. If you don't know, questions are my love language. So when you come with questions, I'm able to really dive deep, and we can have some conversations. We can get into coach time, as what I like to call it as well. Eden Lou says always helpful. Thank you so much, Eden, for that. But yeah, I absolutely enjoy these. She says I always learn something. I absolutely enjoy these. Absolutely enjoy hearing from you guys and some of the phenomenal, crazy, ridiculous, amazing things that you're doing as water walkers. Because literally, if you are starting to produce content, if you're starting a business, if you're stepping out into the deep, you're quite literally walking on water. It's amazing because you've decided to believe in yourself enough to invest in the way forward. And investing in the way forward can look like spending time on YouTube University and learning what you need to learn. It can look like purchasing a course or booking some time. It can look like actually getting some reps in, as they say, right? Getting some reps in. And getting reps in means going live, picking a date and a time, setting it on the calendar, and actually sticking to it and going live. Listen. There is an audience out there that is specifically for you that nobody else can reach. I'm not saying everybody should be content creators. I'm not saying everybody should go live. I'm saying that we have a responsibility to steward the story that we each have that is individual to us. Individual to us. It is a story that is beautifully crafted and weaved, and it's masterfully done because it's been done by the master. And that story deserves to be heard. That story deserves to be shared. That story can be the difference maker in somebody's life. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Always excited that we get a chance to hang out in this way. For real, no reps. With going live is everything. Review tape, adjust to next time. Absolutely, Eden Lou. I love that. Review tape. Listen, that is the ultimate cheat code. Gotta review. I absolutely love this space. I will be going live again next week for Amazon Live. I'll be talking about so I did a 2-part series, What's in My Church Studio. I'll be doing another series called 2-part that will be going through my work studio. This is my home studio. I've already showed you my church studio, but I want to show you my work studio. I work for a television ministry, and so we have a studio, several studios there. So I want to share with you what's in that studio. And I'll be doing that live on Amazon. I'm on Amazon and on YouTube on Monday nights, right after the Incubator's Couch live show. So come for the Incubator's Couch at 7 on the Composition YouTube channel, and then join us. All of this is on the howitallworks.com page. If you go to howitallworks.com, everything is there. So join us there. Let me just type in the chat, howitallworks.com, https:// works. I think that's it. Boom. You are preaching now. Lost in translation. I love it. But yeah, listen, howitallworks.com. It's going to have the new shorts that we have. I've got a new short that's going to be dropping tomorrow. Shorts meaning, vertical shorts. So there'll be a new short dropping tomorrow. It's got my Amazon Live stuff on there. It's got my latest YouTube video on there. And we got a new YouTube video sharing a hack for StreamYard, how to get vertical and ISO out of one recording in StreamYard. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So make sure you bookmark that page, howitallworks.com. And then on the top of that page, you have our latest live show from the Incubator's Couch every Monday at 7 p.m. So howitallworks.com, hit that up. You'll see everything that you need to see, and you'll be able to come hang out with us Monday, 7 p.m. for the live show. We'll be interviewing a good friend of ours, Kimon Hines, Ideas to Life. And then right after that, at 8:30 p.m., I'll be going live talking about what's in my office studio, my work studio. Fam, I'm going to get out of here because I've said that like 20 times now. I enjoy live streaming and broadcast preach word. I love that. I love that, Michael Flamans. Can I take 2 calls on the Rodecaster Pro? Eric is asking. The answer is yes. Okay. What's the Amazon Live link? I can never find people on there. Oh, so let me. Okay. Let me put the Amazon Live link in, Eden. But Eric, the answer is yes, especially if you connect 2 phones. But I'm pretty certain that you use 2 phones on the Rodecaster. You can connect 2 phones, one connecting using the 3.5mm port on the Rodecaster Pro, and the other connecting using Bluetooth. But you can also just take 2 calls on one phone. Right? You can have 2 calls come in. I don't know if that's what you mean. Maybe I'm not following you correctly. And then the third thing I want to say, Eric, because I actually got away from doing that. What I use is Loopback, and I use Google Voice. So I take the calls on my computer and I just route the audio into the live stream using Loopback. So there are many ways to accomplish what it is you just asked. And that's why I paused, because I was like, I don't know which way you want to do it, but the answer is yes, you can take multiple calls at the same time, and you don't necessarily need a Rodecaster Pro. Just a quick one. Email sent. Faith House said email sent. Thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate that. https://kirkrnugent.live/gear. So that is my link to Amazon. So that is, yeah. Oh, I found it by searching Amazon on your site. Oh, cool. But if you go to howitallworks.com, Amazon is the second to last icon on the main page on howitallworks.com. So it's there. It's there. It's howitallworks.com has everything. It's got my YouTube shorts. It's got my latest YouTube video. It's got the latest live show from Incubator's Couch. And it also has my Amazon Live stuff. All of them right on the homepage. So I just want to make sure everybody knows you can get to everything I have straight from there. So howitallworks.com. And then, of course, kirkrnugent.com has a number of other resources. Hey, thank you, Eden, for all that you do. And thank you for hanging out with us. I've got to drop. I owe you an email, Eden. We gotta connect. So I may just dive in our DMs and try and figure out where your email is so we can connect as well. Fam, make it a great one. It is Wednesday, August 9th. There will never be another August 9th, 2023 ever again in the history of ever. Let's make it a great one. I will see you in the next show or around these internet streets. Later, fam.
Yeah.
Support Kirk Nugent, the geek speaker preacher. 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 preacher.